Seas. Ladies and gentlemen, please extend a very, very warm welcome to Ms. Raveena Tandon. And I would request Ms. Shaitali Joshi, Brand Manager Merck, to present her with a bouquet, a floral welcome. Our second guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Anand Nambiar, Managing Director of Merck India and General Manager of Merck Healthcare. His responsibilities include developing and implementing growth strategies across all of Merck businesses in India. A very, very warm welcome, sir. Once again, a lovely floral welcome from him. And our third guest this lovely afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, is Dr. Mrs. Vandana Lulla, the Director of the Pauda Group of Schools and the Dean of Pauda World College. She is a very well-known and a leading educationist with a wealth of experience in the world of education. A very, very warm welcome, madam. Thank you, Shaitali. All right, so it's my time that I get to pose one question. Okay, now, you're a mother of 4 kids. And parenting and teaching and learning has been sort of a part and parcel from really early on. So if there are some tips that you would want to give out to parents of how to balance 4 kids and bring them up really, really well?
Well, really well is not what I can give a certificate yet. But yes, my older 2, who are not my biological kids, but I brought them in when they were very young. My older one was 11 and my younger one was 8. And now they are married women with their jobs and their own kids and their own apartments. And when I look at them, I say, thank you God, I think I did a good job. And my younger ones, who are my biological kids, are 9 and 11 now. And on the way, but I can say yes, they are well rounded up kids. Because as much as I believe that education is very, very necessary, it opens your mind, and that's the bane of life. Honestly, that's where you go, where you reach. All depends on the education that you get in school, which I'd like to congratulate Vandana with for heading her empire so fantastically. But also at home. And education at home is also very, very necessary. And I don't mean the books education, but I mean a general awareness of what is going on in the world and what pristine examples I've seen right now on stage. These 4 groups of children have wowed me. I mean, that I think also comes from a bit of the interest that the parents take in their children, So that's very, very necessary. I also would take this opportunity, sorry, not only answering your question, but I would like to congratulate 7 Seas and their entire team for something so fabulous, giving kids an actual opportunity. You are just not a brand, I believe, that only, kind of promotes, but I think you walk the talk, and that is very, very important. So congratulations, 7 Seas. I am today proud to be associated with you. I've been with 7 Seas from the inception, at the time when they came into India, and I can only say that they have a genuine interest as what you can see at the level that they have these initiatives that they are propelling kids into a brighter future. I think it's just fantastic and commendable. Thank you, 7 Seas, from I think on behalf of all the parents for giving us this opportunity to be here, and for us that you've invited us to watch this whole magnificent arrival of our new generation. I am so wowed by all those 8 children that were here. Congratulations to all 8 of you, wherever you are sitting on our spot. But you are splendid. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, you missed out on the fight of the brains we had a little earlier on the first 2 rounds. Absolutely spectacular. All 20 of them were phenomenal. Now on to you, Mr. Nambiar. Of course, 7 Seas has been, revolutionizing the way parents have been worrying about the brain development. But to put together this journey of, this new property of 7 Seas masterminds, How did that come about? What was the idea behind that? Putting this quiz competition together, making sure that parents are able to, teach the kids the right way so that they can really, come out with flourishing, flying colors.
So Seven Seas has been around for 80 years or so. And if you look around the marketplace, there are a plethora of brands that talk about nutrition, health, and so on. So as a parent myself, I'm bombarded with information in the marketplace that talk about what is good for your kids, what's not good for your kids, and so on. So we wanted to put a program together which really highlights the importance of nutrition and health for children, and specifically in terms of brain development for children. Given the pressures in our world and what the kids have to go through on a daily basis, we needed to emphasize something that brought the education element and tied in with the nutrition element for children. And that's the emphasis of Seven Seas Academy.
Lovely. Let's have a big round of applause for the lovely initiative. As a student, I used to love quizzes. Like, this was my favorite in extracurricular activities. So when they got me on board to do this, I was so thrilled. You said it. Yes, I would love that to happen. Vandana ma'am, I'm sure you've been dealing with kids for the longest time. And learning has been a part of the journey. You learn from kids, you teach kids. It's just been like a journey of give and take. But when you really talk about teaching a kid, like ma'am said, it's an all-round development. So if you were to summarize and put it in, a brief for all of us, especially our parents, how would you do that today?
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate Seven Seas' initiative of giving this opportunity and platform to many kids, 60,000 kids in the country. I think a big hand of applause for Seven Seas to start with. And I know winning and losing is a part of the game, so all 20 kids, another big hand of applause for each one of you to make it till here. So, when you talk about parents and you talk about schooling, I think these two absolutely go together, and I like what Raveena said. And it's true that two things that I say are most important for children. I know parents think that education comes automatically in school. However, there is a lot behind before they actually come into school, right from when they are children to when they grow up as teenagers or adults. I think two things that I feel is a challenge for us in schools is nutrition and sleep. The right kind of nutrition that kids need to get. And I think sleep is another important aspect that you think loses on today's kids, especially with the kind of exposure that these kids have today, with the kind of technology. You can see a lot of moms shaking their heads over there. And I think that the challenge for parents today is to make sure that they're able to give the two most important aspects to their children is to sleep for a number of hours that is required. And the second is the right kind of diet, right kind of nutrition. And I know that teaching and learning is all about the child. And the challenge for a school then at school is to make sure how they create that environment for today's children. And I think with the kind of exposure that kids have today, how do you arouse that curiosity with kids? How do you arouse that kind of opportunity for the children? Is to create that kind of environment, use a lot of teaching techniques. The pedagogy is what really then allows them to explore and go further. So I think that these are two challenges for today's parents, and that's what they need to look into.
Thank you so much for really putting it all together for us. Sleep, nutrition, of course Seven Seas helping us there with great brain development, and Ms. Raveena has already said, parenting is an important part where you give them love and support and everything put together. A great kid is right there. All right, to take this afternoon forward, ladies and gentlemen, I would request Ms. Raveena Tandon to address all of us and talk about this special occasion. I'll say something else. Anything that talks about how this quiz competition is going to be super exciting and it's a step forward for all of us.
Like I said in my earlier introduction, conversation actually, cannot be a speech. I, number one, am very proud, like I said, to be associated with 7Cs. And coming back to that point a little, I'll tell you why. As a mother, and I'm sure a lot of mothers here are worried about their children in today's day and age, the kind of pressures our children go through. I'm sure a lot of you remember जब हमारे टाइम का भी था, जब हम स्कूल में थे, हम लोग तो आके बैग्स पटक के नीचे भाग जाते थे बिल्डिंग में खेलने के लिए या मैदान में खेलने के लिए, और रात को 7:30-8 बजे जब माएँ हमारी मम्मियाँ चिंतित होती थी तब चिल्लाती थी, अरे आ जाओ अभी घर डिनर का टाइम हो गया। तब तक तो हम लोग खेलते ही रहते थे, कभी साखली खेल रहे हैं, हाइड एंड सीक खेल रहे हैं, डबा स्पाइस खेल रहे हैं। I'm sure you're all familiar with all these games. But today's children, I rarely see children playing down on open grounds these days. How many of our children, only those who are pursuing football or cricket or something like that will be playing down. But these ordinary normal games which used to be are lost. The time that we had in the sunlight, which we used to be without sunblock and this protective creams which paranoid mothers do. हम लोग तो पूरा दिन स्विमिंग जाते थे, तो 9 बजे जाते थे पूल में अपने हैवरसैक्स लेके, रात को 6 बजे लौटते थे. No sunblocks, no creams, nothing. But that I feel in today's day and age is a little lost. For me, I grew up when I first associated with 7Cs. I told them a genuine fact. I said I grew up with taking 7Cs capsules. That was a must which my mother always gave me. My base was strong. Besides all the other things that were provided to us, we grew up with stronger immune systems. We grew up with stronger nutrition. That's what I feel. Today when I see my children, they come back from school, they're ready to go for another class, then they're going for another class. Even games and sports are taught in classes these days. I mean the training that goes on, whether it is music or it is dancing or it is football or it is swimming, they're all divided into classes. Children are running from one class to the other, then they come back, then they're doing homework, then there is a review before Diwali, then after Diwali again reviews are starting. मैं तो पागल हो गई. So what do you do under these circumstances? How do you give your children that base which will be strong, that will carry them on lifelong? I prescribe 2 things most definitely. Most definitely. 1, 7Cs and proper nutrition. 2,